Hey everybody, Desert Guardian here, and today I want to talk to you about the Glock 34. So I have two examples to show off to you, and what I really want to do is give a good walk around to this Polymer80 one that I just built, but I figured I would do a quick compare and contrast to the Gen 5 MOS. So got a couple of Glock 34s here, and let's take a look at the factory Glock Gen 5 MOS first. So this is the current version of the Gen 5 Glock 34 MOS. And MOS is the modular optic system, which of course is this plate right back here, which you can pop off. They have come with a series of adapter plates and screws, so you can put on your choice of optic. So you're not limited to one kind of optic with this. You can put on whatever you choose. So that's what the MOS, the modular optic system, that's where the MOS comes from. So like I said, this is the current version. Now, they did make an earlier version of the Gen 5 34 MOS. The biggest two differences of the earlier version was it did not have front serrations, and it had a cutout in the front of the mag well here, or the grip. A lot of people didn't like that. They put it there so it'd be easier to pull a magazine out, or whatever reason they could come up with, but all I ever found is that it pinches my finger. Now, what I'm talking about is I've got my Gen 3 good old 17 here, and see this cutout it's got here? The one in the first version of the 34 MOS Gen 5, it came up further than this, and the Gen 4 was the same way. Now, what I find when you're reloading is that's gonna catch your finger, especially if you've got big hands or chubby fingers that get in that hole, and all that's going to do is make blood blisters, make it uncomfortable, make reloading not as fluid. Now, if you're building a competition pistol, which is what Glock originally designed the 34 to be, you want to be able to have quick reloads, you want it to be comfortable, you want it to work right. So while we're down there talking about the magwell, you can see it's got a nice deep flare, beveled edge. So for reloads, this magwell is actually flared and beveled and really nice and really quick for reloads. And we can compare that to the Gen 3 17, and it's pretty clear to see one of them is big and beveled and flared, and one of them is just standard. So you've got this nice little flare on the bottom, if you can see it. I'll tilt it a couple times, which facilitates the magwell in there, as opposed to straight down on previous versions and no magwell. So that's a great little option of the Gen 5. And also no finger grooves. So the general public has been asking Glock a long time, hey, why are you putting finger grooves in everything? And a lot of people like them, a lot of people don't. The majority of them, I find, don't. Like, for example, this is my Gen 4 19. I absolutely love this pistol, but I had to sand them off because it did not fit my hand with those finger grooves on it. Now, my good old trusty 17 has a bigger grip, so my fingers actually fit between those finger grooves. So for this, it works fine. But if I had a bigger hand, I have a medium-sized hand. If I had a big hand with giant fingers, my fingers would be resting right on those humps, and it would just be uncomfortable. So Glock said, you know what, we're going to do this for the masses. We're going to change this. We're going to make this a little bit of a better texture and take off those finger grooves so everybody can have a comfortable grip on it. Whether you have skinny fingers, fat fingers, big hands, small hands, it's all going to feel the same. Still has the palm swell on the back. That's just a Glock thing. Some people love it, some people hate it, some people want to argue that that changes the direction your pistol is pointing because that hump isn't supposed to be there. I'm going to leave that up for personal preference. I have no opinion either way because I love shooting 1911s. Some of my 1911s have a hump on the back, some of them don't. I also like shooting Polymer80s, and they are more of a 1911 squared off flat grip. We'll get to that with the one that I built over here in a moment. So moving on, the Gen 5 obviously is ambidextrous controls. You can flip around your mag release, and you have your slide catch, slide stop, slide release, whatever you choose to call it, is ambidextrous on the Gen 5s. Now, with the 34 MOS, they went one step beyond. Being a competition pistol, they wanted to make sure you can get a good grip on this lever, so they put on the extended release. So, you know, really easy to grip. You can get to it really easily. A little bit nicer than the standard flat, non-grippy Glock one that you find on most of them. So that is a great little addition. Obviously, you're extended here. You're running a longer barrel, longer slide than your 17. Grip is the same size as 17. Slide is a little bit longer. Like I said, it gives you a better sight radius, a little bit better accuracy, and like I said, it's for a competition pistol. The Gen 5 also has the Marksman barrel. You can jump on the internet, you can talk to your buddies, you can talk to a million different people. Does the Marksman barrel make it better, make it more accurate? People say yes, people say no, but honestly, those minute changes in the barrel are not going to make you a better shooter. What's going to make you better is getting out, putting rounds down range, and practice, practice, practice. So I don't care if you're using a slingshot or a sniper rifle, be the best at what you do and practice like crazy. So don't put a lot of stock into whether or not the barrel is a bajillionth of a measurement more accurate, because you're not shooting from a ransom rest, you're shooting at what you do and the practice you put into it. There's my little preaching for the moment. The Glock 34 also comes with an adjustable rear sight. Now, it's not on here. I pulled them off. I put on some night vision tritium sights. That's my personal preference. And I know there's a lot of people watching out there that the first thing they do is when they get a Glock is say, oh, look, something to throw in the garbage, the plastic sights. And the rear adjustable sight is no different. It is just simply the cheap plastic Glock sight with an extra adjustment screw. So those found their way off of this really quick. I would have loved to show this in complete stock form, but there's things I just can't leave alone, like the extended mag release from Hyve Technologies, the TLR one, and the sights. They had to get changed. So yeah, so that's it. You got the beveled front nose, which is a Gen 5 thing, makes it for your ingress and egress out of your holster really easy. Yeah, so that is the current rendition of the 34 Gen 5. Which is a longer slide, longer barrel, competition style. I think I covered everything on it. Magazines that come with are standard 17 round Glock mag. My magazine of choice for this one is I've got my Hyve Technologies +5, or one of my personal favorites is the 19X mag that I use. So, and plus it matches my TLR1. So, yep, so that's it. That is the Glock 34 Gen 5 MOS current edition of it. All right, so now let's take a look. I'll leave this up there in case we got to compare stuff to the Polymer80 Glock 34 that I just built. All cleared. So let's take a look. So this is the Polymer80 V2 frame. It's an 80% frame by Polymer80. They make the PF940C, which is a Glock 19 size, and a PF940 V2 version 2, which is the 17 size. One thing you're going to notice right off the bat is no palm swell on the back. And it has a little bit of a different grip angle to it. It's more, I don't even know if you can see that on camera, but the angle is more in line with a 1911 than it is with a Glock. So it's a little bit more square, no palm swell in the back, and the grip on it is amazing. No finger grooves, of course. So I started with the V2 frame. Now, the Polymer80 frames are all Gen 3, so you're not going to have your ambidextrous controls on them, but I did go with the extended slide release, slide catch, slide stop lever because, you know, I want it to be Glock 34. The parts kit for this was sent out by Polymer80. Looks like this. You know, you got all of your goodies in here. The one thing that I decided to go with was some of my Hyve Technology parts. So I run a Hyve Technology Monarch trigger, the Hyve Technology extended mag release, and I'll talk about that real quick. So some people look at this and they say, oh my gosh, that sticks out so far. How can you manage that, pulling that out of a holster? Well, to be honest with you, it doesn't stick out that far. Polymer80 has this deep cutout right here, right by their mag release, so it gives the illusion of sticking out a lot further, but when you run your finger over it, it is a little bit extended, but it is not an obtrusive part. It's not going to get in your way. So Hyve Technology mag release, Monarch trigger, and of course my mag extensions. Other than that, all the guts and innards in this come direct from Polymer80, and I love it that they produce a frame and a build kit. They even do slides, barrels, build kits. They do everything. Now, they do not make a Glock 34 slide, so I went with a Brownell's RMR cut stainless front serration Glock 34 slide because it runs on the 17 frame. Oh, forgot the Hyve Technologies backplate. So this is made by Brownell's. They have a few different versions of this. They have a regular iron sight version. I believe they have a non-window version. And of course the RMR cut here. Now I just have a plate on it. This is going to get a Trijicon RMR, but right now I've got this cool customized plate that Maple Leaf Firearms made for me. It's an engraved aluminum plate. Went with the night vision tritium sights on it. Now I do have a set of co-witness sights from night vision to put on this when I put an RMR on it, but for now I'll just stick with my standard height sights. It does have a beveled nose. It's a little bit more angular, a little bit more of a dramatic look to it, but in Glock 34 fashion, they do put the beveled nose on it. I have the Inforce APL on it, and then of course I've got a ZevTech dimpled barrel in there from Brownell's. Kind of good looking, and with this window on there you can see the dimples, so you got a little bit of the Gucci in there. But yeah, that's the Polymer80 Glock 34 magazine of choice, standard 17 mag with the +5 from Hyve. I do have a couple of those. This one's got black with the orange accent on it. These are a great setup. They you know, you pop your old one out. I don't know if you've seen me use this. This is the Hyve mag base removal tool. Really easy. Pop the end in this hole here, give it a squeeze, and it pops the plate off. So you slide it off, put your new Hyve base on there, and you're good to go. Yeah, there it is. That is the Polymer80 Skunkworks 34 by Brownell's, Hyve Technologies, Polymer80, Night Vision, and Inforce. There they are. There is the Gen 5 MOS Glock 34 and the Polymer80 Skunkworks 34. So I hope you enjoyed this walk around. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them below. And that's it for now, everybody. Desert Guardian, out.